It is 8 o'clock and I'm meteorologist Andrew Kozak. Next weather alert continues for your Sunday night, overnight and into your Monday. We are tracking a major coastal storm, and while the city of Philadelphia is looking at cloudy skies and a couple of areas of even a few low clouds and fog, in addition to a few sprinkles, we will get our rain. As light to moderate as it is, we will see that overnight and into your Monday. Monday, Columbus Day, will likely be a rainier day than what we saw today on Sunday. But the shore, that is where this system is really giving us some issues. And we've already seen some major flooding across many of the shore points tonight as we continue to track this coastal storm. So flooding and erosion will continue, especially as the high tides once again work their way in. We are in a bit of a lull right now. Most low tides across the Jersey Shore actually happened within the last hour or so. So receding water a little bit, temporary relief, but then it once again increases once we get into the overnight. High tides in places like Atlantic City right after 1 a.m. We're also tracking gusty winds. We've seen today winds in excess of 55 to 60 miles per hour. I'll go through the list and show you some of the shore points that receive some of the highest gusts. In the city of Philadelphia, 30 to 40 miles per hour. We'll continue that overnight and into tomorrow, and we may even see a few more outages. Already had a few, quite a few, several hundred at the Jersey Shore so far. The rainfall, though, that is what we're seeing trend a little bit lower. As this system sends in waves of rain, we're likely to see 1 to 3 inches at the shore, but up to about an inch or so in the city because we really haven't had much today. There's a look at the clouds and radar. Actually has been a pretty rainy day for areas like Staten Island, Long Island, New York City, the Jersey Shore. We've had on and off rain. It's been one of those things where if you're at Brigantine, you've seen some heavy downpours, but down toward Cape May, maybe a bit of a break. Right now, though, we are looking at the waves continuing, even with low tide. There's a live look at Margate, some rough seas. We're really concerned about the high tide late tonight and then the high tide tomorrow afternoon. That, of course, has caused all of the issues that we've seen with coastal flooding. A report in Avalon a little earlier today of Ocean Drive closed. We had areas in North Wildwood that were completely under 2 to 3 feet of water. More storm reports are likely to pop up as we head overnight. Here's the deal. Today, we had our high tide at 12:18. That's when we started seeing some of those reports come in. Right after that into the early afternoon. Overnight tonight, high tide 1:02 a.m. and then again at 1:24 p.m. These are the two that we're concerned about. In fact, tomorrow afternoon is likely to be the worst of it just because we've had now at that point almost 36 hours of all of this. Because of that, a coastal flood warning remains in effect all the way through tomorrow evening, where again, 2 to 3 feet above ground is where we can see that high tide come in and bring you in the water. The water that's actually going to be covering some of these shore points and what we've already seen today is not coming in from the rain, it's coming in from the tidal flooding. And again, that is likely will continue as we get into the overnight and then tomorrow. Along with that, the winds. And all along the shore, we have had a high wind warning in effect. That means that the winds will continue to blow between 20 and 35 miles per hour, gusting over that. Remember, for it to be, let's say, the equivalent of a tropical storm, it would need to be 39 mile per hour winds or higher. And we're actually seeing that. In fact, so today, some of those winds have been gusting, in some cases, nearly 60 miles per hour. I want to show you our futurecast because a lot of you may be wondering, well, what about the rain that would be moving into Philadelphia? Well, we have a secondary low, which I'll show you, and it's going to push more rain. So if you look at the time there at the bottom of the screen, we get into the overnight and we've got waves of rain coming through, not just for Jersey and interior Jersey, but for Philadelphia and areas even north and west as well. Again, not a ton here, but it is something we'll be watching very carefully for you. All right, so let's go ahead past that and talk a little bit more about what we're expecting for wind gusts, because I think overnight and into tomorrow, likely to see some more in these realms here, but 50 to 60 mile per hour winds. Avalon, New Jersey, Cape May Harbor, we had a 51 mile per hour wind gust. Atlantic City, 48, 46 in Brigantine. Now, the next 12 hours in Philadelphia, likely to stay where we're going to be now for temperatures, upper 50s to around 60. But when we turn the corner around midnight, that's when the rain starts to fall in. So here's the secondary low that started to form. Watch as we head into the overnight. It moves a little further west, and this, with the counterclockwise winds, helps to slam more water into the Jersey Shore. So by the time we get into about 1 o'clock tomorrow, we're starting to approach high tide again, likely to be the worst of it with rain, wind, and coastal flooding. But once we get into your Monday night and Tuesday, everything starts to subside a little bit. But the next 24 hours or so are going to be very crucial for those Jersey Shore points. Tonight, 57, rain likely even in the city, especially toward the morning. Only about a 3-degree difference tomorrow for your high, up to 60 degrees with widespread rain and very gusty winds. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast now. After we get through your Monday, we're looking at temperatures staying in the 60s Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and much quieter. In fact, by the end of the week, we'll be where we should be, upper 60s to near 70, and our next major change to rain would be not until the end of next weekend. I'll have another fresh update for you coming up at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and then our newscast tonight a little bit later around 11:30, and of course a fresh forecast always on CBSPhiladelphia.com.